Hello, this is a quick guide on how to add your own gun models and stuff to the virtual reality light gun framework. So I'm going to be using Blender. Downloaded this free model from DJ Haskey, who's got a couple of good guns on here. I've already downloaded it, so it's in my downloads folder, which is here. I'm gonna open Blender, drag the model in, import with the default settings, and we get this, which is the default rifle. This particular model is in loads of sections, so you just kind of select everything, hit, I want to say it's Control P, set parent to object, and that'll give me this single object, which I can move up and down. Usually, because it's VR and you want realistic proportions, I then drag in one of the existing models I've got. So if we go to run app data, bring up the controllers. Let's use DJ Haskey's other gun, which is this one. I'm going to drag that one in with the default settings again. As you can see, that's kind of the size we want to be working with here, because that's the sort of pre-scaled one. So from here, I can grab this one and kind of size it up. I usually use the use the handle as my reference point. So you kind of just line them up a bit like this. The handle and the triggers can be good reference points. So I think this rifle one might be a little bit big at the moment. I'm gonna make it slightly smaller. You just kind of play with it. You can tweak this afterwards. This isn't the hard part. So yeah, that's probably fine for now. I can then delete this old one. Right click, delete hierarchy like that. I'll get rid of it. Now I've got this gun. It's about the right size. There's a couple of empty objects here, which are button, grab, and tip. Which these are. I will actually delete these for now, so I can show you how to do them. But let's say we've got the model and it's the right size and it's already in Blender. You can go here. You can go add empty, and it can be any of these. Doesn't matter. I've been using circles because I find them easy. So I add an empty circle like that. I'm going to call that tip. And this defines where exactly the tip of the gun is. So the light gun framework uses this empty thing. It's actually going to be a big circle right now. So if you make the circle smaller, the reason I like circles is because they're quite easy to place on the tips of guns. So you can kind of do that. I'll probably go even smaller than that. Let's go. Yeah, that'll do. And yeah, so now you can use this, and you can use this to see exactly where the tip of your gun is. So actually, I've missed something. So you want to make sure that in this mode, the sights are aligned basically. So you want to go around all the sides like that and make sure that the sight looks good. Now that the sight looks good, I can look at the tip, look at it from this angle, move it so that it's on the right spot of the gun, onto the barrel. Then go to this side view. Make sure that it's, not that this part really matters, but make sure that it's lined up there. And then look at the top and it should be fine because I've done the other two. Great, so now we know that the framework knows that the tip of the gun is here. The other one that you need is the grab point, which is where the sort of VR controller grabs onto the gun. Generally, I've found what feels best is at the top. And it's a little bit of a sort of feely-weely thing, but it's kind of like here-ish on the gun. It's above the handle so that like the VR controller in your hand feels like the hilt of the gun is kind of what you're aiming for. And yeah, around there. This might not be perfect. This one needs to be called grab. You have to have a tip and a grab for the gun to be correctly loaded into the VR framework. Otherwise, it will just fail. But there are a few optional extras you can add. So we'll add those to this gun as well. The first one is grab 2, which is turns the gun into like a two-handed variant. So in this case, I want my second hand to be on the kind of the hilt handle foregrip thing. So I'll just put that one there. The third option is mount. It's called. So make one, we'll call it mount. I have left these circles really big, so that's quite annoying. So I'll make those smaller for now. More smaller. It doesn't really matter. It just makes it more readable in the file. There we go. So mount is where on a pivot gun, so like a mounted gun on a cabinet, the gun will pivot around this point. So here, I would like it to be kind of on the magazine. If you look at an alien's extermination machine, you can see that the pivot point is kind of here. It's like in the magazine. So that's what mount defines in this particular model. If you were to put it lower like that, the whole gun would pivot around a further point, so it would have more give in it. But like in general, I found that this kind of feels good. The final point you want to add, which on this gun is going to be in the same place as the mount, is the button empty. And what that does is it that's for proximity reloads. So for Alien Armageddon, for example, the real version of that machine has a button on the bottom of the magazine, and you hit that. So VRLF has a proximity reload, which detects if your offhand comes into proximity of that, and it kind of reads like a button press, and that defines the position that happens in. So now we've got this. This is all the data that is needed. We can go to File, Export, GLB, which I've found to be the best format. We can then go to Controllers here, which is in the App Data folder, and we can just call it SCAR. You know what? Let's credit the guy. Let's call it DJ Husky Rifle, and we'll just export it with the default GLB settings. It will now appear in this folder, which is my VRLF folder, and we have to do the little bit of prep work that's required. So I'm going to create a new folder. It's going to be called DJ Husky Rifle. Move the GLB in there, and then I'm going to go to one of these other ones, let's say the Makarov, and grab the model.json file. This is like the manifest file, which defines all the information we need. In this case, there's not actually that much information. We just need to put an ID, which we'll call DJ Husky Rifle, and then name, which is what it will appear as in-game, and we'll call it the SCAR 17. I think that's the right type of gun. I don't know if it's a 17. I actually don't know that much about guns. And then model here is DJ Husky Rifle.glb. Now that we have this gun will appear in the game. It will be in the model selector. And I will demonstrate that right now. All right, I'm now in the framework. The gun has appeared in my menu here, the SCAR 17. It's got an orange border, which means that it's a user one. It's been added. These ones that don't have orange borders are packaged in. This one with a purple border means I've downloaded it from the Steam Workshop. Generated the thumbnail. The gun is here. I can pick it up. It was a bit small, and so I made it a bit bigger, and I think I've actually made it way too big now. I don't really know how big rifles are. I'm not a big gun guy. But you can see I can aim down the sights. I think it's my left eye, so it's like that. Should be fairly accurate. I should test it by playing a game. But yeah, that's how you add guns to the virtual reality framework. Once you've added a gun, you can go to this screen here, and if it detects that it's a user gun and it's not already been uploaded to the Steam Workshop, you can hit this button here. You can hit ES upload, and it will upload it to the Steam Workshop. It defaults as private. If I take my headset off now, you can see that it's opened this Steam Workshop page that isn't working because the game's not out. But if I go through Steam, go discussions, workshop, and I go your items you've posted, you can see the SCAR 17 has appeared here. I could then edit the title and description, which in this case I would edit the description to credit DJ Husky who made the model and link to the model. And then I would set visibility here to public, and then all my friends could download it. That's how you add models to the light gun framework. Hope that helps you, anyone who's interested in doing that.